Welcome to my channel, Old Valuable Coins. Imagine holding a small piece of American history that many people walk past without thinking twice. A coin that hides secrets, errors, and values powerful enough to shock collectors in 2025. Today, we dive deep into the United States 5-cent coin from 1938, the legendary first-year Jefferson nickel. Stay locked in, because what I'm about to tell you could turn pocket change into serious cash, and you might already have one of these coins without realizing its hidden potential. The year is 1938. The Buffalo nickel design comes to an end after 25 years, and America welcomes a fresh design inspired by the third president, Thomas Jefferson. On the front, Jefferson's portrait takes center stage. On the back, the iconic Monticello building stands proud. But behind this simple design lies rarity, errors, mint secrets, and updates that still shake collectors today. And if you think old means common, you're about to be surprised. The 1938 Jefferson nickel wasn't just another coin. It was minted during a massive transition. Millions less were made compared to later years, which means scarcity grows every single year as coins are lost, damaged, or melted. And that's exactly why the 1938 nickel is hunted aggressively by collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts worldwide. You want explosive search power? Here it is. People are looking every day for how valuable the 1938 nickel is, what errors make it worth more, and how to identify the coins that stand out from the rest. This video gives you every detail you need to become part of that hunt. Let's start with mint marks. In 1938, these coins were struck at 3 different locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver mark with a D, and San Francisco mark with an S. Right away, this becomes a value-changing factor. Coins with the S mint mark get collectors buzzing because they had lower production. Fewer coins mean stronger demand. The D mint mark is also desirable, especially when the strike is sharp and the coin shows crisp details on Jefferson's hair, cheekbone, and collar. And the Philadelphia strikes, even though produced in higher numbers, hide some of the most thrilling error possibilities. Now, before we go deeper into values, here's what collectors crave: full steps. On the back of the coin, look at the steps of Monticello. The sharper and more complete those steps are, the more intense the attention becomes. Full steps remain one of the biggest hunt triggers for Jefferson nickel enthusiasts, and the 1938 nickel stands at the center of that chase. If those steps are clear, separated, and visible across the design, your coin enters a totally different category. Collectors are constantly searching for strong strikes, and a 1938 nickel with bold steps can skyrocket beyond expectations. This is where viewers like you find life-changing pocket finds. But let's talk about the real viral spark: errors and varieties. These are the game changers that push demand through the roof. The 1938 nickel is known for double die effects, strike doubling, off-center strikes, clip planches, die cracks, lamination errors, and steps that are partially filled. Coins with doubling on the portrait, especially around Jefferson's eye, hair, nose, or collar, spark massive excitement. On the Monticello side, doubling on the word Monticello, 5 cents, or United States of America instantly elevates your coin to a higher tier of attention. A slight misalignment during striking gives you off-center beauties that collectors fight over. A lamination error, where part of the metal peels or separates naturally, becomes a unique collectible piece. Imagine finding a coin in your family collection or chain jar and realizing the metal itself tells a story of its creation. That's where value becomes emotional, historical, and personal. Here's another obsession: toning. Over time, some 1938 nickels transform with rainbow-like color patterns: blue, green, gold, purple, and fire-like orange across the portrait and Monticello. Natural toning formed over decades can dramatically increase desirability. Collectors go wild over naturally toned early Jefferson nickels because every toned coin is one of a kind. Strong color, perfect luster, brilliant surfaces. That combination is a magnet for attention and demand. Now, let's talk market energy. Every year, more collectors enter the hobby. Prices shift, auctions break records, and rare examples rise higher. While most 1938 nickels exist in circulated condition, the true fire comes from coins that look untouched: sharp details, silky luster, no heavy scratches, an eye appeal that lights up instantly. These coins command serious demand and continue to build long-term collector interest because first-year designs always remain desirable. And here's where your hunt becomes real. Check family coin collections, old jars, inherited boxes, flea markets, estate sales, garage sales, and antique stalls. The 1938 nickel often hides where nobody expects it. Someone tosses it aside thinking it's just an ordinary nickel, and suddenly you walk away with a treasure. There are collectors watching this right now who found 1938 nickels lying in old boxes untouched for decades. This is your chance to search. Collectors love this coin because it marks the beginning of the long-running Jefferson nickel era, which continues today. That alone gives this coin historical weight and emotional gravity. It's the foundation of nearly a century of American coinage. Every time you hold one in your hand, you hold the first brick in a series that millions of people grew up using. Now let's turn up the energy. Imagine finding a 1938 nickel with blazing luster, bold full steps, and no major marks. That coin becomes a centerpiece, something that commands attention, something collectors don't let go easily. The stronger the strike, the cleaner the surfaces, the more intense the competition becomes. Here's what you should look for when examining your coin. A clear portrait with sharp hair and color lines, full steps on the Monticello showing separation between the steps, strong lettering with no flattening, and luster that reflects light evenly across the surface. If you see doubling, cracks, chips, clipped areas, misalignments, or peeling metal, you may be holding a rare variation or error worth investigating. The smallest detail can be the biggest opportunity. Collectors constantly scan listings, markets, and collections for early Jefferson nickels because this era represents the birth of a modern coin design. The 1938 coin doesn't just hold collector appeal, it holds nostalgia, rarity, and design history all in one. And the demand is not slowing down. As time moves forward, fewer high-quality examples remain, and that scarcity makes the remaining pieces more valuable every single year. So here's your challenge. After this video ends, go check your collection, your old jars, your family drawers, anywhere coins might be hiding. You never know what you might uncover. Look for the date, look for the DOS mint mark, look for steps, look for color, and inspect the details closely. That small coin could be your most exciting discovery. Imagine holding a small, everyday coin that millions ignored, tossed into pockets, dropped under couches, spent on candy, forgotten for decades. But today, that same tiny 5-cent coin from 1940 has become a silent treasure chest, a historical alarm bell, a sleeper jackpot capable of shocking collectors, turning thrift store hunters into legends, and making ordinary people question every single coin they ever touched. Yes, we are talking about the USA 1940 5-cent coin, the nickel that survived world tension, economic shifts, and wartime metal shortages, the coin that represents the final chapters before America entered World War II, and the coin that hides its value in eras, rarity, condition, strike strength, and pure collector demand that is exploding year after year. Right now, more than ever, collectors and people who never cared about coins are suddenly scrambling to check their chain jars, empty their drawers, rip open old piggy banks, and raid family coin boxes because they realize this isn't just metal, it's history frozen in your hand. And in 1940, something special was born. A coin with a design so iconic and a production timeline so dramatic that it still commands attention more than 80 years later. This was America before wartime alloy changes, before silver nickels, before ration metals, a moment sealed in copper and nickel, featuring the face of Thomas Jefferson and the beauty of Monticello, struck by the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and hiding secrets that can send its value skyrocketing if you know what to look for. Collectors crave the 1940 nickel because it's one of the last years before major composition changes hit during World War II. In 1942, the metal shifted, making the pre-war nickels more desirable, more nostalgic, more connected to the era before the world changed forever. That alone keeps the 1940 nickel relevant. But what sends people into a frenzy are the details. Sharp steps on Monticello, strong strikes where every line pops like it was minted yesterday, the presence of dye deterioration, weak back steps, repunch mint marks on the 1940D, ghost-like doubling that hides unless you tilt the coin under light, and circulation survivors that somehow avoided decades of wear and scratches. These traits make collectors chase, message, debate, and battle for the best examples of this coin. Imagine you're at a yard sale, Someone dumped a jar of old coins on the table, and there it is, a 1940 nickel with bold details, crisp Monticello steps, a magnet for attention. Most people walk past, but you know what others don't. This coin has the power to dramatically increase in value if the details line up. While millions were minted, very few remain today with the original sharp design, untouched surfaces, and clean details that collectors lose sleep over. People assume common means worthless, but collectors know better. Condition plus details equals demand, demand equals competition, and competition drives value through the roof. The 1940 nickel proves it. Let's talk design. Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse isn't just a profile. It's a symbol of American strength and innovation, sculpted with intention and pride. Look closer, and those small details define everything. The hairlines, the cheekbone, the jaw structure, the lettering spacing around liberty and I in God we trust. Each tiny imperfection can help identify a strong strike versus a weak one. Flip it over, and Monticello becomes a battlefield where values are decided. Everyone talks about steps. Full steps, nearly full steps, partial steps. Why? Because most coins did not strike with full clarity. Machine pressure, die wear, metal flow, alignment, all worked against it. So when a 1940 nickel reveals strong step definition, collectors go wild, because rarity of detail beats high mintage numbers every single day. And don't even underestimate the 1940 D mint mark. Denver coins are always watched closely for repunch marks, those tiny doubled impressions from the minting process that create subtle, thrilling errors that collectors crave like treasure hunters smell gold. People online argue, zoom in, inspect, debate lighting angles just to confirm a repunch D. Why? Because those errors turn a coin from common into collectible, collectible into highly sought after, and highly sought after into wallet-exploding value. One small mark can change everything. Now picture how history fuels demand. The 1940 nickel was struck when the world was shifting fast, when radios crackled with news from overseas, when the U.S. economy was recovering and preparing for the unknown, when every coin handed over a counter carried silent weight. The metal itself represents the calm before the storm, the last chapter before nickel became strategically important for war. People don't just want the coin, they want the story attached to it. Value in coins isn't just metal, it's memory, emotion, narrative, and rarity. Combine them, and a simple nickel becomes a collectible powerhouse. And here's what collectors chase in 1940 nickels: bold brightness and untouched surfaces, stunning luster that swirls like light on water, sharply defined Jefferson features, a Monticello reverse where every line is crisp, no deep nicks distracting the eye, and steps that show separation like stacked bricks. They chase errors, misalignments, doubling, repunching, late-stage die cracks, lamination flaws, and hidden anomalies that add character and chase value. They chase coins that look like they just left the mint even though they survived more than 80 years of pockets, drawers, glove compartments, gas stations, bar counters, diners, and vending machines. Collectors whisper stories about people discovering extraordinary examples in estate sales, old warrior boxes, forgotten jars in dusty garages, and flea markets where someone sells old coins just to clear space. The person who buys checks the details, understands rarity, and stays focused and walk away holding a hidden jackpot. Because luck favors knowledge, and knowledge transforms pocket change into power. Right now, as you hear my voice, thousands of people are checking their coins, searching for survivors of past. The 1940 nickel doesn't scream value. It hides it, encouraging only those with patience and passion to unlock it. And that's the real hook. Anyone with a keen eye can spot a standout coin. Anyone can check the steps, the surfaces, the striking details. Anyone can turn a simple coin into a collectible that others are desperate to own. This is why people are obsessed. Because there's always a chance, always a treasure waiting, always a piece of American history floating around that could end up in your hand. So check your change jars, open those old family boxes, raid the forgotten drawers, and look closely at every 1940 nickel that comes your way. The power of the coin is not in its size, it's in its survival, its detail, its demand, and the unstoppable energy that collectors bring to it. Every coin you check is a lottery ticket of history, and every unnoticed nickel could be the one that shocks you with what it becomes in the right hands. Imagine holding a piece of American history that screams freedom, revolution, and raw national pride. Today we dive deep into the legendary United States half-dollar coin marked 1776 to 1976, a coin that doesn't just sit in your hand. It ignites your imagination. This is a coin that every collector around the world chases like gold because it represents the 200th birthday of the United States of America, and it hides secrets, varieties, shocking values, and mind-blowing details most collectors never notice. If you love rare American coins, buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal will make you dig through every box, drawer, and old collection you have. And trust me, if you find the right version of this coin, your wallet will thank you forever. This iconic bicentennial half-dollar features the unforgettable double-dated design, 1776 to 1976, celebrating the independence of the United States. As soon as people see those two dates, they feel something. That's not just a coin, that's a statement. 200 years of America carved into copper and nickel, and in some versions, silver that shines brighter than history itself. The obverse keeps the strong profile of President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of leadership and legacy, but the reverse transports you straight into the Revolutionary War. Instead of the standard eagle, you get the famous drummer boy of the Revolution, crafted by Jack L.R., his drumsticks raised with power, liberty ringing in every strike. Surrounding him are 13 stars, 13 colonies, 13 reasons why this piece of metal carries emotional and historical weight that never fades. But this half-dollar is more than patriotic artwork. Collectors worldwide hunt for it because of its varieties, its mistakes, its silver versions, its unexpected differences. And if you think all bicentennial halves are worth pocket change, think again. There are versions that people pay for like treasure. And if you find one that slips past everyone else's eyes, you've just unlocked money most collectors dream of. These coins were minted from 1975 to 1976, even though none carry the 1975 date. That's right, there's no such thing as a 1975 half-dollar. They went straight into bicentennial minting, meaning every Kennedy half made during those 2 years carries a legendary 1776 to 1976 mark. That makes this coin special from the moment it was born. No confusion, no overlap, just pure anniversary metal. Now listen closely, because this is where collectors' hearts start pounding. There are two primary compositions. First, the common copper-nickel-clad version, the one most people saw in circulation. Second, the 40% silver version, made for special collector sets. These shine like a mirror under the right light, and they're the ones many people don't realize they actually own. If you ever received a bicentennial half as a gift from grandparents or found one stored in a box of old things, do not underestimate it. Because if it's silver, it already carries more value than face, and if it's in exceptional preservation, it becomes a coin people hunt with serious cash. And here's the part that hooks collectors harder than anything, the strike quality. Some coins shine with deep, sharp details, crisp lines on the drum, strong hairlines on Kennedy, mirror-like reflective surfaces, and those qualities separate the ordinary from the elite. If your coin has smooth surfaces, glowing fields, and sharp details, you're already in a higher demand zone. These differences turn average coins into attention grabbers that buyers do not ignore. Collectors also crave errors, striking anomalies, and distinctive appearances, die cracks across the drum, doubling on Liberty lettering, weak strikes that leave mysterious soft outlines, off-center strikes that twist the design, and tonal rainbow patina that forms naturally over decades of storage. Any of these can skyrocket the desirability of your half-dollar. A coin that looks different always attracts eyes. Curiosity creates value. But what forces people to click and comment is knowing that millions of Americans save this coin, but only a tiny fraction truly understand what they have. For many, this was the first collectible coin they ever saw. Families kept them in jars, drawers, albums, envelopes, coffetins, and secret boxes. Today, thousands of forgotten bicentennial halves sit untouched in storage, waiting for somebody like you to discover them again. Imagine opening a closet box and finding the heavy shine of a silver bicentennial. Imagine picking up a coin and realizing it has strong details, natural toning, or error traits that transform it into high-demand collector material. The thrill of that moment is why this coin has never stopped trending, because everyone believes they might have one worth more than expected. You know what else gives this coin lasting power? Its unstoppable emotional value. The reverse design reminds people of the Revolution, the fight for independence, the birth of a nation that changed world history. This isn't just currency. It's a patriotic symbol that instantly connects with millions of Americans generation after generation. That's why collectors never stop chasing it. Many want it not for money, but for meaning. When you hold this $50, you don't just feel the weight of metal. You feel the weight of a story. Push your finger along the drummer's raised arm and imagine hearing rhythmic calls of battle from 1776. Look into Kennedy's profile and feel echoes of leadership and promise. Roll the coin in your hand and watch how light plays across history. You're not holding change. You're holding a piece of America's heartbeat. So here's what you do next. Go through old collections. Check inherited jars. Ask family members. Search old containers, albums, childhood savings boxes. Don't assume they're all the same, because the ones with silver shine, beautiful surfaces, or rare anomalies are the ones everyone competes for. Every coin you pick up is a chance to uncover value that's been asleep for decades. Feel that excitement yet? You should, because the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial $50 is one of the most recognizable and culturally charged coins ever released by the United States. It's a coin that refuses to die, refuses to fade, refuses to be forgotten. Whether you're hunting for silver composition, spectacular eye appeal, explosive visual toning, or unexpected varieties, this $50 delivers multiple pathways to value and mystery. And the best part? The world is still looking for them. The demand hasn't dropped. The passion hasn't faded. This coin remains a gateway for new collectors and a prize holding for experienced ones. The bicentennial $50 is a coin that keeps collections alive, keeps conversations going, keeps memories alive, and keeps history spinning in your hands. So if you find one, don't rush. Look closely. Let your eyes capture every detail. You might be staring at something that not only represents 2 centuries of American pride, but also carries a potential to surprise you far beyond its face value. The $50 coin 1776 to 1976 is not just money. It's legacy, identity, and national fire forged in metal. Treasure it, study it, and above all, appreciate the history you're holding. Because when you hold the bicentennial half, you don't just hold a coin. You hold America. Get ready, because what I'm about to tell you will make you look at the 1972 United States $50 coin like it's a sleeping giant hiding in plain sight, resting in drawers, jars, attics, old coin tins, and pocket change across America and around the world. People overlook it every single day, but collectors who know its secrets are cashing in on opportunity while everyone else sleeps. Today, for the next 20 minutes, we dig deep into the coin that looks ordinary, but carries underrated potential, shocking history, and hidden value triggers that can turn small finds into big excitement. Let's begin with the 1972 Kennedy $50, a coin minted nearly 3 decades after JFK's assassination, but still charged with emotional power, American symbolism, and collector demand. Millions were made, yes, but not all 1972 halves are equal, and the market is always watching for the standout pieces, coins with sharp details, full strikes, strong rims, crisp lettering, bold hairlines in Kennedy's portrait, and surfaces that survived the decades without major wear. Those are the ones collectors hunt like predators, and those are the coins that take an ordinary 50-cent piece and push it into a world of real collector money. But hold on, before we dive into the key variations, imagine this. You pull a random 1972 $50 from circulation today. Maybe someone spent it at a thrift store. Maybe it came in change from a yard sale. Maybe it sat untouched in your grandparents' tin since the 1970s. What you hold is more than metal. You're holding history fused in copper and nickel, the legacy of a fallen president, a design everyone recognizes instantly, a coin big and bold enough to feel like real money. That emotional pull is part of why this coin remains hot. People don't forget Kennedy, and collectors don't ignore the coins that carry his image. Now let's go deeper into what transforms a 1972 $50 from common to eye-catching. First, strike quality. Many 1972 halves came off the dies with weak strikes, especially around Kennedy's hair, the eagle's wings, the shield lines, areas where fine detail is everything. When a coin shows those details sharply, it stands out. Sharpness equals desirability, desirability equals demand, and demand equals value. Next, Luster, a 1972 half dollar with blazing cartwheel luster, rotating like liquid metal under light, instantly gets attention. These coins sat in rolls for decades or were barely handled, preserving that mirror-like shine that explodes on camera and jumps off tables at coin shows. When someone sees that flash of untouched brilliance, the reaction is immediate. I want that. And don't think condition doesn't matter. A coin that looks average is just another half dollar. A coin that looks frozen in time becomes a kind that collectors chase, trade for, talk about, and pull out of albums just to admire again. Think about the reverse, the majestic eagle, wings spread wide. On a strong 1972 strike, the feathers are sharp, the shield lines pop, and the stars above the eagle stand crisp and powerful. The United States of America arcs around the top, grand, iconic, unmistakable. Every detail tells a story that this coin wasn't just used, it was preserved. Now let's talk circulation reality. The 1972 half dollar spent decades being ignored. It wasn't widely used in everyday transactions, so many ended up stored away instead of getting destroyed by wear. That means there are surviving coins with surprisingly good surfaces just waiting to be discovered. The trick is finding them before others do. Imagine you're rummaging through an old box of coins and you spot that big, heavy 50-cent piece with Kennedy's portrait staring back, 1972. You tilt it. The light dances across the surface. No deep scratches. No harsh discoloration. The rims look tight and full. That moment right there, that's when your pulse jumps, because you know what most people don't. Condition changes everything. Now travel into the world of errors and varieties, the realm where coin legends are born. Any unusual mint anomaly, like doubling in the date or lettering, die cracks that run like lightning across the surface, or misaligned dies that shift the design, can turn a regular coin into a conversation piece that collectors love. These varieties may not be common, but the thrill is in the hunt, and every 1972 half dollar you examine might hold a surprise. Think about the silver story. By 1972, half dollars were no longer made of silver for circulation, but the association with earlier silver Kennedy halves still fuels interest. People constantly check them hoping for a lucky older year mixed in. That helps keep attention on all Kennedy halves, including 1972. This coin rides a wave of nostalgia and silver-chasing energy, even though it isn't silver itself. That's hidden psychological marketing you don't even need to create. It's already built into the coin's identity. Collectors also love full rims, clean lettering, strong in-hand presence, and a heavy feel compared to today's smaller coins. Pick up a 1972 half dollar and you feel the weight of the era, literally. It's bold, metallic, undeniable. That heft makes people hold on to them, and holding on to them is what creates long-term demand in the collector space. Now let's talk obsession. Serious coin lovers and casual viewers alike are constantly searching online for coins with potential value. Coins to check at home. Coins to chase in circulation. The 1972 half dollar fits that niche perfectly. It's familiar enough to recognize instantly, but mysterious enough that the average person doesn't know whether they're holding something special or not. That mystery hooks people, and hooked people watch videos. They talk, they share, they comment, they engage. That is viral fuel. So picture this, thousands of viewers right now digging through old change after watching videos like this, searching for 1972 halves, hoping to find something extraordinary. The more people look, the more attention rises. The more attention rises, the more collectors stay alert. And the more collectors stay alert, the greater the long-term interest becomes. It's a cycle that feeds itself, and the 1972 Kennedy half dollar sits right inside that cycle with power. Hold that coin again in your mind. John F. Kennedy, sharp jawline, bold neckline, hair defined like waves of sculpted metal. The date 1972 resting below, a number that says this piece survived half a century and still demands respect. On the edge, solid reading. On the reverse, the eagle, the stars, the shield, the national pride forge into a coin you can hold. Every time someone finds a cleaner example, every time someone posts a shiny discovery, every time someone says, "Look what I found," the demand gets louder. The hunt grows stronger. The energy grows bigger. The 1972 half dollar is waiting. Waiting in boxes. Waiting in collections. Waiting in old envelopes sealed decades ago. waiting in coin jars forgotten behind bookshelves, waiting in circulation, just once in a while, to shock someone who wasn't expecting it. And maybe, just maybe, one is waiting for you. So go look. Search everywhere. Check every coin pile, every drawer, every family stash. If you find a 1972 Kennedy half dollar with eye-popping luster, sharp detail, strong strike, and preserved surfaces, you're holding a piece of American history and collector desire rolled into one powerful coin.